Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today is a start of something new here on the Peyton on the Radio channel, as there hasn't really been anything new, of course, with the Edmonton Oilers and stuff like that. Just a little bit of rumors here and there, but nothing too big, which I will be making a video about Oliver Ekman-Larsson. But anyways, we're not talking about that today. We're talking about something a little new, as we're going to be doing a tier maker. I guess, well, a tier list that I seen on the internet. I've seen a couple of my buddies, Anime Uprise, who is one of my best friends. He did a couple of tier lists, and I was like, I might as well try it out for myself and do some hockey ones. As today we're going to be ranking all the #1 picks since 2000. So of course we got the legendary Rick DiPietro, we got Marc-Andre Fleury, Sid the Kid. So we're going to have a lot of guys that we're going to be ranking through. A lot of these guys are going to be legendaries. A lot of them are just straight up busts like Nail Yakupov. We're going to be kind of talking about each individual one, why I kind of pick them, and stuff like that. So first up, we got Rick DiPietro. He was drafted in 2000, I think. But yeah, he was drafted by the New York Islanders. Of course, I think they traded away Roberto Luongo because they had Rick DiPietro. Now, Rick was good, but definitely not worth the pick. And the reason why I'm not calling him a flat-out bust, because in my opinion, Rick DiPietro was never really a flat-out bust. He just got really unlucky with injuries, and of course the worst contract in NHL history, where he got signed to like a 15-year contract and was bought out. It was a really bad contract, and I think that's why people really say that he's a bust. But in my head, he just got really unlucky. He got some big-time injuries and really just was not in the right place at the right time. So, and plus, a goalie should really never be picked #1 because of the fact that it's such a high risk, high reward. Like, I mean, you could take a look at Marc-Andre Fleury. You could take a look at Marc-Andre Fleury, who is well-deserving, probably even a Hall of Fame, but I'm going to put him as top-line contributor because the analytics. And Marc-Andre Fleury has played some great hockey, but there's also been times where he's just had really good defense. I mean, Pittsburgh is one of the better defensive teams. Well, used to be. I mean, nowadays they're just ruining themselves with turning away Hornquist. I don't know what the fuck they're doing there. Anyways, we're not talking about the Penguins. But Marc-Andre Fleury, yeah, I believe he's a top-line contributor. He was a great goalie for the Pittsburgh Penguins. He's the reason why he helped them win a Stanley Cup. Now, is he probably going to be in the Hall of Fame? That's for damn sure, probably, with his resume. But I think he's definitely a top-line contributor. He was a great goalie. He was a great starting goalie, but definitely not in the Hall of Fame tier. Kovalchuk, he's a dick. Straight up, he was like the biggest dick to the New Jersey Devils. They locked him up to a big contract. They made it to the Stanley Cup final. They lost, and then a year after, Kovalchuk just dipped. So I'm gonna just no, I'm kidding. He's not a bust. He definitely was a top line contributor. He played great for the Atlanta Thrashers. He was a great player, but I think just overall, he's definitely nowhere near Hall of Fame criteria. Sure, in the KHL, but definitely not in the NHL. He's definitely not that top-line contributor, or he is a top-line contributor. Oh my god, I really cannot speak English apparently today. But yeah, he's going up in that tier. I think he belongs there. Rick Nash, great player. I think there should have been like another tier, like a second liner, because Rick Nash, I think, was one of the better picks out of that draft. I don't think it was really a high quality draft, if I'm sure. Let me just quickly check. Yeah, this was one of the worser drafts in 2002, where we had Kari Lehtonen and then Jay Bouwmeester a little bit down at 3. So there definitely wasn't very many good players at that time, too. So, I mean, you had Steen second best. I mean, Rick Nash was one of the better picks, and he was really good. But he definitely was not, like, good, but not worth the pick. But since there was nobody in that draft, he's a top-line contributor, and he is well-deserved. And I don't even need to explain Ovi and Crosby. Like, two of my favorite players when they both got drafted. I read books about Ovi all the time, and just the way that he was, like, he was such a personality in the game, and I think he got me really into hockey because of the fact that he had such a big personality. And then, of course, Sid the Kid, right? I mean, he was a generational talent. He was one of my my favorite players growing up and was really one of the reasons why I was cheering for Pittsburgh at the time, and why I hated the Oilers, because they were dog shit. But yeah, when the Oilers were dog shit, I really did cheer for Pittsburgh Penguins. Like me, my dad absolutely loved Sidney Crosby. He was from Nova Scotia. He was just a great kid. I loved him. Eric Johnson, he was good, but not worth the pick. Could even say he was a flat-out bust, but Eric Johnson's been a very servable defenseman for the Colorado Avalanche and for the St. Louis Blues, which was the original team that drafted him. But there was Taves in that draft. There was a lot of good players in that draft. Good, but definitely not worth that pick. That's for damn sure. Kane, Hall of Fame talent. That's for damn sure. Kane was, I mean, with all the allegations and stuff like that, I don't want to say anything about it. But with all the allegations, Kane is still going to be a Hall of Fame worthy talent. He brought so much success to the Chicago Blackhawks, and just the way that he played. I still remember that game-winning goal against the Philadelphia Flyers. I mean, it was just an absolutely beautiful goal. I remember sitting there with my dad watching the game and see it go in, but you really didn't know that it went in. Like, everyone's just standing still, and then once the goal horn goes off and the announcers say it's a goal, everyone just goes fucking crazy. It was a beautiful goal. Stamkos, what a guy he was. He had a great second year after his rookie year, I'm pretty sure. But Steven Stamkos, actually, he played a little bit of the game against the Dallas Stars in Game 3, but wasn't able to because of his injuries. And I would have to say Steven Stamkos would probably be in that Hall of Fame talent area if he didn't have that blood clot and a lot of injuries that he has faced. He's a great goal scorer, great player. Definitely deserves to be in that top line contributor. John Tavares, another great player. Definitely not in the Hall of Fame tier. But John Tavares, he just really, I feel like, has not been able to pull together teams. I mean, he went there to Toronto to help them with the playoffs, and I mean, they lost in the play-in rounds. I don't know what Toronto's really going to do next, but John Tavares, I think, needs to really step up as that big leader there in Toronto. He's been there with New York, but even really in New York, they really didn't do very much. So, I mean, even without Tavares, they have done more. So, that means Tavares really needs to step up here for the Toronto Maple Leafs and really step up as that big player. Taylor Hall, another top-line contributor, really was worth that pick. Taylor Seguin really has not been a very good playoff performer, but I mean, Taylor Hall hasn't gotten very much playoff time in his era, and he was just with Arizona, which is a complete gong show. He's probably is going to drop to free agency. I don't know where he's going to go, but wherever he's going to go, he's going to be a great player. Nuge, I love the guy, great player, but I think I would have to go for the good but not worth the pick. I can't remember what was with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, but I know there was a decent amount of good players in that draft. Now, Nugent-Hopkins is a great player. There's no doubt about that, but he is a second-line player. That's why I wish that there was kind of another list where I could say good, but like second liner worth good. But I think that's why they kind of list that, because it's good, but definitely not worth the first overall selection, as you had Landeskog, you had Huberdeau, you even had Kucherov in this draft, Scheifele. There's definitely a lot of good centermen, and Nuge has had a great career, no doubt about that, but nowhere near Scheifele or Couturier or any of those other guys. So good, but definitely not worth the pick. Now Yakubov, straight up bust. Nate McKinnon, he's going to be Hall of Fame tier. Just the way that this guy plays, Nate McKinnon, Nova Scotia boy. But Nate McKinnon is just a great player, and the way that he plays for the Colorado Avalanche is just absolutely terrific. The way he skates, the way he transitions, the way he passes the puck, the way he shoots the puck. I mean, just everything that McKinnon does is up in that Hall of Fame talent tier. Aaron Ekblad, he's had a great year. He's a great defenseman. I know a lot of people rate him as kind of a bust, not a very good pick in that draft. But Aaron Ekblad's been one of the better, analytically, he's a great guy. And the way when I watch Aaron Ekblad play, I think he's a very good defenseman. Now, he's not your fucking Erik Karlsson. He's not going to be that. He's a very big guy with a great shot, and I think he's definitely going to be up there, that top line contributor. Connor McDavid, Hall of Fame talent, that's for damn sure. Austin Matthews, top line contributor. I love Matthews, and I think he's going to be a great player. But for right now, I think he's a top line contributor. And if he starts bringing in like tons of awards, you could definitely see Matthews being up in that Hall of Fame talent. But for right now, I'd rather him stay in that top line contributor. Same with Nico Hischier and Rasmus Dahlin. I know it's really not too soon to judge for these kids. These guys are going to be top line contributors and maybe even Hall of Fame talent. And only really one big bust, and that's Nail Yakupov. You know what? I got so excited when the Oilers won that lottery and got Nail Yakupov, and then when we got him and he started playing like dog shit. Fucking hated him. But I mean, it is what it is. That's why you have good coaching and good scouting and good management to help kids develop, and this is what happens if you don't have that. But yeah, so here's my tier list. Tell me guys in the comment section below where you guys would put your tier list. This is where I would rank everyone. I think it's a pretty good tier list. And if you guys disagree, probably a lot of Maple Leafs fans would be like, what the fuck are you doing with Matthews? He's not a top line contributor. He's a Hall of Fame talent. I don't give a shit, guys. I really don't give a shit about you Maple Leafs fans. Right now, I think he's a top line contributor. Could he be a possible Hall of Fame guy? Yeah, he probably will be a Hall of Fame guy without a doubt. But right now, he's a top line contributor, and that's where I'm going to be putting him, unless he could start bringing in some playoff success for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and not just that, also bringing in some awards as well. That will skyrocket him into the Hall of Fame talent, and probably same people will probably say, Connor McDavid hasn't done anything in the playoffs. Fuck you, he has. I mean, he's gotten the Oilers to the second round, and I mean, the Maple Leafs haven't done that yet, so yeah, I'll just leave it on that. But right now, guys, make sure to like and subscribe. Tell me, guys, how you guys think about this tier list that I made. If you hate it, dislike the video. I could really care less. But make sure to like and subscribe, guys. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. Adios, amigos.